Hello, all. This is Dr. Dave Maslak talking to you about reciprocity.com. The E is written with a 3. And in this particular video, I want to talk about the benefits of getting a doctorate or a PhD in business. So, if you don't know who I am, I'm actually a professor of innovation, strategy, and entrepreneurship. And I created this whole reciprocity project to give back as much as I possibly can. So created this sharing economy proofreading app, but now I'm doing all these YouTube videos to help out other people that are going and getting a PhD or becoming a graduate student, particularly those that are going into a business program. There's lots of people out there that are like me when I was 25 years old. I didn't know any of this kind of stuff when I first started. So I want to be as helpful and open and honest as I possibly can to you. So first of all, what are these benefits of getting a doctorate in business? In a PhD in business? And I think there's lots of different ones, and these are just some of the ones I just kind of briefly thought about in the last little bit. So the first one, this is actually kind of interesting, is you actually get to be part of a club, kind of like an elite club of people that actually finished or completed a PhD. Not a lot of people do that kind of stuff. So to say that you actually did it and you're part of that particular sort of club, whether it's elite or not so elite, but you're part of something that other people did. And that's actually kind of nice because you have a little group and you can create kind of an inside and outside group, which there's lots of benefits to all of that. And sort of just understanding that you did something that very few people around the world have done before. And it's still going to be a small group of people that are ever going to do this. So it's a really privileged thing, I think. The second thing that I think is important, and this changed me a lot, is you're never going to look at the world the same again. You'll never see things like politics, what's going on in the sort of political arena, especially the last few years. There's all sorts of stuff that's going on in the political arena. You're never going to look at organizations. You're never going to look at, markets or how people behave ever the same again. And it's really fun to be able to see it in those terms. It's hard because then you can't communicate some of these ideas to other people, but it's just very interesting to sort of see the world in those different terms, and you're going to have a much more nuanced understanding of why things happen and why they evolve in a certain way. And it's a really sort of privileged way of seeing the world. The third thing, and I think to me this is still a big thing for me, is you will appreciate how hard it is to build and create a great idea, or an idea that just is interesting, and it takes so much work to get there, and you're not really going to understand it unless you actually do a PhD, and how much work and how much effort goes into crafting an idea and actually just getting a paper published, right? It's more than just getting a paper published. There's lots behind the scenes that go on that you would never think that go on behind it. And it takes a tremendous amount of work and sort of pushing forward at that particular thing to understand how that idea actually gets formed. So that was really cool for me, that you're never going to see, and not a lot of people are going to experience that unless you have a PhD. And number 4 is you're going to be very critical with, you're just going to understand to be critical and understand sort of what is the sort of nuances around something. So getting a PhD teaches you very much so to critique things and to sort of pick things apart, and you'll be able to do that like nobody else's business. And you get very good at it after a while, and sometimes you're a little bit too critical, and so you have to sort of dial back on this ability to be critical at a lot of moments. And you'll see that actually very senior professors do this, is they'll be quiet. And it's not that they are not sort of following along. They're just very good at sort of dialing back this criticalness because they know that you're developing something, and it takes a lot of work, and they don't want to sort of crush those ideas going forward. So they know the right amount. You kind of develop a skill in knowing what the right amount of being critical is over time. And then the last thing, and I think this is important, is you're going to be introduced to many new topics and new ideas that you never sort of would have covered in an MBA class or a master's program or an undergraduate class. You're just going to see that there's a picture on the internet. You can find it. It is looking at how much that you think the world actually knows, and then how much you actually study of the world. And you think that you know a lot about the world, but then when you do a PhD, you understand that you actually don't. And that's one of the benefits of that, is we really don't know a lot of things. And basic things that you think we should know, we actually don't know very much about these basic things. And we only know a little tiny bit. And you only get that appreciation once you start digging down and you understand like how fragile some insights and some ideas are, and you know how and you just don't appreciate it, how much we actually don't know until you get into the nitty gritty of that. So that's all I'm going to talk about. Hopefully you appreciate this. Give me a thumbs up if you do, and do subscribe to the YouTube channel. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye.